No, I feel, yeah. I think with this comp, yeah, it looks like kind of the normal here, right? Nobody seems to be doing anything out of the ordinary, but I think for me, if I'm Paper X, I'm coming out here and I'm punching evil geniuses in the mouth. I just want to come out swinging. They're on attack, just W key. I mean, just W key like you've never W keyed before. I mean, and just come at these guys full throttle, you know, get Forsaken fired up, get him running, and then just start just confusing the heck out of them.
Yeah, and I know Kakuka, I need them to be able to deal with the ulti economy that EG have been running. Someone has to stop Com at some point.
Yeah, good luck with that one. Especially also the pistols and the bonuses, the rounds that we were talking about. Also, Paper X decides to start on the attack. They have a double duelist. I think that they need a very strong one. So let's see if they can pull it.
Well, this is an absolute huge best of 5 we're going to be bringing to you guys. It is a marathon, not a sprint, and it's time to send over to your casters. It is our snack connoisseurs, Bren and Sideshow.
Snack connoisseurs, also Josh, you're looking kind of like a snack as well today as we get started with our lower bracket finals in the Makahari Messe as well as our arena. It's going to be this, you know, crowning event for the next 2 days as we see the lower bracket finals and the finals play out. But first, it's EG versus Paper X. Josh, what a match.
And what a spectacle. What a place in which to see two of the most unlikely runs in Valorant history collide together. Each one of these runs through a tournament would have been spectacular had they been separated by a year or more. We would still be talking about EG's run and Paper X's run with itself. But to have them in the same tournament and have them colliding here in the lower bracket final is phenomenal.
You're spoiled for choice with the storyline. You're
so
spoiled
good.
for choice, man. I mean, some people say, you know, EG, there's some element of luck of them even managing to make it here in the first place. But one of my favorite quotes is luck is opportunity meeting preparation. And you cannot say that EG haven't been prepared for every single task and obstacle in their face. They've paved the way all the way here to that minimum top 3.
And think about the gauntlet of teams that Evil Geniuses have run. They've gone through DRX, Loud, the #1 seed from Americas, Liquid, the #1 seed from EMEA. They almost took down Fnatic as well, really making that super team bleed. And Paper X, they're back at it with a vengeance. The silliness, the whimsy, everything coming out of this team looking like they're in prime form, despite the fact that most people were expecting them to come into this tournament as a bit of a wounded animal. Absolutely. The Beast has still got more to give.
We've started playing for them as well. I mean, CJRS has been stepping up into that role. It's been very, you know, plug and play with this Paper X team. You know, two teams, you know, as we're facing off between them. They have very contrasting styles in a way as well, with the way that, you know, you can take a look at the style of gameplay, the pretty, perfect Valorant that, you know, EG like to play. It's very, very nice and proper versus, you know, the brute force, go fast, give the analysts an aneurysm Valorant. That's what Paper X like to employ.
Yeah, well, I think they'll also be trying to tear EG's game plan into chaos too. But this is a great map to get a sense of that kind of stuff. Paper X like playing hyper-aggressive with the double duelist. You were here in the desk, Paper then talking about how he just wants this Paper X team to run it down. Old-fashioned W gaming, get in their face. And I think that this is going to be a great litmus test early on in the series to see how well that works. Of course it's EG's map pick, of course it's the map where they've looked incredible, dominant here. And yet, I feel like Paper X have got a style that potentially could match up well. For me, I'll be putting a main focus onto these pistols, bonus rounds, ult economy, that kind of stuff here on Fracture. It's going to matter for the entirety of the series. But right here, we're going to get our first glimpse at EG's best as to whether they can make that a big win condition for them.
And it was knocked down a tad, you know, in terms of the statistics they were piling up. Pistol rounds, bonus round conversion for EG in that matchup against Fnatic. You know, both teams really just taking chunks out of each other. They're as close as it really could have gotten towards the final moments of that one. But here we stand in the lower bracket finals here. Let's get into it. Map number 1, Fracture on the cards. Paper X versus EG. I am excited. Let's see the clash in styles. It's going to be fast from Paper X, you already know it. It's built into them. Let's see how this one will begin. Steady jaunt into halls.
And actually contacting, trying not to give anything away. Messing with expectations early.
Not giving anything away with Util, but as the door opens wide, so does the opportunity to claim a few kills. It's traded and equalized. Just the 1-for-1. Damage done to Divide. But the smokes are dropped down, and that's going to be impetus now to go into the side. A flash repeat and a refight from them. EG, they choose their timings and they choose them well. Even Abusia following up. Com with the anchor in position. That's a pistol round win for EG.
A major strength of theirs, and you get to see exactly why. The defensive utility thrown sets up EG for such immaculate kills there, especially that flash recon combo they like to throw over towards Sam. Take a look at that in the replay. The flash just sets up Boostio perfectly there, and the recon dart lights up anybody who wouldn't have got caught by the initial wave. Great combo, bread and butter for EG. They get started out nicely. And Brent, yeah, you were talking about the fact that this hasn't actually been working as well for them recently. Well, they were at 90% pistol win rate in the game before they went up against Liquid. Since then, they were only able to go 4 and 6 in pistol rounds with 1 bonus conversion. So that strength of theirs has disappeared, and yet they were still able to beat Liquid and almost able to get a crazy OT and possibly even a win against Fnatic. So to me, the pistol bonus round momentum is what turns EG from being a great team into an unstoppable one at this tournament. It hasn't been the only thing they're relying on.
Absolutely not.
Nice.
Plenty of things that are looking nice for them. This is
3 dapat tadi play keras.
been put into the round here
Yeah,
with a share
Davai.
of shots fired and sailing right through. Maybe even a plant online as well to get some
Aduh, nggak
extra
dapet deh
money
bola.
going. Device still alive and kicking, repositions over towards Canteen, but it's just going to be up to him.
Tin, cakep, satu lagi.
Bulldog
Ayo,
can really
clutch. Oh,
pricey. Ethan
sumpah kalau dapat
Shimon,
bisa
though,
clutch.
2 players surviving for EG.
And Boostio didn't buy into that. He's always going to have, a ghost or some other kind of pistol. So they're still going to have a little bit of weaponry. Nobody, though, massively built up towards an ultimate. You didn't see one player on EG just go crazy in rounds 1 and 2. I suppose Boostio would be the closest, 2 away from his lockdown. Not sure that you can really craft an aggressive defensive game plan around that, though. So one of the large strengths from EG, the way that they use this ult economy to be able to snowball things forward, might get postponed a little bit towards round 4. These are the rounds that Paper X have to win.
You want to take away. But Fracture, we know it now to be pretty much the strongest map in terms of the arsenal of EG, of what they've got under their belt. They have a slow beginning, pretty split out. See Jing and Forsaken just contacting into the north side here. Fight to be taken into halls. Dart over the top, and ZG trying to take the timing off of it. Fully lit up.
I mean, look how good that is. The shock dart to stop a contact play, then flash recon again.
They're trying to pincer it straight through halls again, round the back. That's gone. He's dealt with. Taken care of. Still taking point with the rifle. Lovely movement.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Forsaken. He's still alive.
Oh, what the?
Bring him down with the help of his compatriot Jing. Comboing together here. The rifles carrying him through the brunt of this round.
Dia mau kalah, bro. Tuh kan? Apa lu kata kalau soal nembak kalau kata aku menang di Paper X, Paper X mainnya pala mulu, Cok. Tuh. Lain, gini nggak ada skill palanya, Cok. Bukan nggak ada ya, sorry ya. Maksudnya nggak sesering Paper X, Cok, gue liat deh. Nice.
Anjing hoki banget, Cok. Davai hampir mati.
Go.
Little close, but all good. So now we get to see
Take my energy kalau kata pada viewers.
close to ults that they can use. There are so many ult hubs around the map on Fracture, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why EG have found a lot of success here on their attack side. They can build game plans crafted around being one away from ult as well as having some online. But you take a look at Paper X, they could easily get an orbital strike, possibly a lockdown or a showstopper online, and build a strategy around that, unless they just want to go for exec. And the game plan normally for Paper X is exec post plan.
The beginning of these rounds has been starting out quite contacty, but okay, there's a clash. Skirmish, Utils exchange, and what a time to take a fight. Jorgamo rips ahead of Forsaken straight off with the help, but again, that supplementary Util, and space is being granted again to them. Oh, what a strike, it collapses, but no damage, not enough.
So close though, to absolute perfection from Paper X. That was a ton of good utility pressure that they applied. Meanwhile, Boostio with an operator wasn't really the story of this round, going over and playing B, but now he's got to retake with quite an unwieldy weapon.
Unless somebody gives him a kill as well. CGRS wants to take the fight to him. Look at that, in the spawn, aftershock. Drop down to cover the flank, just in case the players do push him from that area. Team 1's still there, Dart. Clearing it close, Ethan low enough though that they still want to play for this one. The Dart actually takes him out. Wasn't anticipating it, good reactions. Flick upwards there, landing onto Com. Leaving it just to Team 1. He'd love to grab this operator to save into the next. That's what he's trying to do. He's guarding it. Finds the kill. Will he be hunted?
Kalau menang ketemu Fnatic ya, iya di final.
Claim that weapon into the next.
And that's got to be one of the most important rounds that Paper X can get under their belt. Completely halting EG's momentum.
Gue sih pede emang.
That's where EG invested heavily, right? They have the operator on the B side of the map. They're trying to use aggressive trap play takes over towards Dish, putting large amounts of pressure down, and Paper X stop it before it can happen. Partly thanks to this guy and that aggressive push, he manages to collect 2 from that position. You would not believe
Gila,
that
Cok.
CGRS
Positive
had
vibe banget, Cok,
very
si
little
Grace, Cok.
Valorant competitive
Gua
experience
ngabong
going
dah.
into this tournament.
Positive vibe banget, Cok. Maksud gua lumayan buat naikin boosting, Cok. Senyum-senyuman tuh step tosan.
He hasn't been putting up the highest numbers in the world, but honestly, he's been performing on the big stage, and that's what counts.
And the big moments.
Yeah.
These clutch scenarios, the important key kill in a round.
Hasn't let the pressure get to him.
No, if anything, he's played very freely under the pressure, realizing that even if he makes a mistake, that's expected of him.
I think that's one of the most dangerous aspects of this paper X squad is
Ini kelihatan.
the fact that they are playing with pretty minimal expectations. You know, they don't have their full strength roster. They're not going to be able to get something into Japan to play, no matter how well they do at this point. You know, there's only one more game yet to be played. If they do win this, here's an attempt to try and flood back in. Massive value. 2 kills off the rip. Pick up some rifles, pick up some guns, upgrades. All around, Crucio hitting his shot. Exchange just down to Divine. Where is he? Backside of halls. He's going to try and stop this defuse.
Dapetin Davai.
Was
Nice,
another
dapetin.
half by here. First kill shut down by
Keras
Jogomo.
Joko banget nih orang masa.
In the midst of it.
You say a bit of a half by. There was only
Gila,
the
Le.
operator saved into that round. The rest of the players had frenzies. Muck. Bits of pocket lint, as Pansy would like to say. EG had no right to that round. And yet, by virtue of their ultimates and an excellent understanding of what Paper X were doing, they found a time that they were transitioning back into post-plant setups, where Jogomo knew that he could find 1, possibly 2. And it just works out as best as you could hope for. So we get
to turn the tide, eh?
We get another big ult clash in this round, and another aggressive fight from Jogomo and Ethan.
Yep. All eyes on Lucio with the operator here. There's going to be a stun to set up the angle. And here we go, flash onto it. It's Jogomo right here. Finding value immediately. Jing opened himself a little bit too wide as the squeeze onto the south side. You just don't expect it to push to the operator.
It's such a good idea against Defy's lockdown, which is an obvious potential way that Paper X were going to try and get into the B site, contest them early, squeeze the person that's watching over towards the A side of the map.
Do choose to still commit the lockdown here at work.
Jogomo's going to deliberately get detained.
Oh, no way. And he's going to be calling it out. Pre-fire right onto the corner. Forsaken's wondering how the hell did they know I was creeping up onto it.
Unreal.
And Jogomo does not get cleared, still alive in the fight once more, left up to Divide. Scrambling, racing around. Yeah, the plant is down, but he'd have to pull off something unruly. First one is going to be gained. There's a fight taken towards him, but sticking halfway, all the way. But Ethan and his team have got the coverage.
What a play. When you hear Potter talk about EG's run to get to this point, something she frequently mentions in interviews is that everything seems to be working right now. You have a risk, you have an idea, it pays off. In Valorant, you're supposed to throw as many ideas at the wall as possible because, I don't know, maybe half of them are going to work. When you watch this EG team, they take a calculated risk like that, they're reaping the rewards immediately.
Yeah, always coming out on the other end, rewarded with it paying off ever so slightly. Here's a dart play towards the north side. But everybody, Paper X, gathered and grouped up towards tree. It's a fast play into tunnel as well. They're going to be meeting him, Forsaken with a jump spot. He's like, I want nothing to do with that.
But this is also one of those ult swing rounds. If Paper X loses this, the economy might be shot.
Up close, tagged up though.
For it.
Here's the overdrive. Forsaken would love a kill. Run and gun, at play, at work. He's suited for it. Here's a Rolling Thunder, intending to punish. Scatters his way through, trying to buy a bit of space and time once more for them, but his crossfire setups, there's gaps in the openings. Still Forsaken's in it, but he's the last one left and he's got so much more to do. Spike has been planted for him. He gets information, knows that Team 1 is in main, whips out the rifle, 8 bullets left. Needs to find a kill here. Ethan opens himself to it. Here's the ult. Still left, gonna be fading at any point.
Nice.
Shuts him down.
What an incredible attempt from Forsaken there. Had all the tools at his disposal and a great read on where players were. It required that pinpoint tap aim accuracy that you've seen so many times from this demonic player for EG. Hits the head of Forsaken, shuts down the clutch attempt. And also stifles Paper X's economy here. This is where EG are the most dangerous in my opinion, Brent. When they're able to win with one ultimate, just the breach ult, to be able to clear it out an area that Forsaken was challenging. And then they still have them available for the future. paper Rex are in a timeout at the moment, a tactical timeout, trying to figure out what their game plan should be.
CG squad, when they get rolling with the ultimates, I mean, they have currently 3 available. It's the Lockdown, Orbital Strike, Hunter's Fury. They're forcing his time out of paper Rex, but they really do just feel like a perpetual motion machine. They're able to just constantly use them, converting it into just rounds, economical advantages, constantly breaking their opponents. And, you know, it's kind of what you were mentioning a little bit before. Valorant is very much, you know, you're tossing ideas out and seeing what sticks. For EG, it just feels like whatever they touch turns to gold. They got the Midas touch with it. Yeah. Every idea that they throw out seems to be rewarded in some way or form, and it's left them in this scenario right now. You're seeing it. I mean, the economy flourishing to a degree. Everybody's going to be able to get those rifles together. paper Rex forced down to the half armor rifles.
Yeah, and missing a couple of pieces of utility. Nothing massively crucial. One stun on Forsaken, a flash on CGRS, but it's under strain. At this point, though, the loss bonus gets to an area where, with most teams favoring light rifles, you can survive in these spots. Just get by. But look how timid paper Rex are at the start of these rounds and how contact they are to try and not give away. So this is a play that they normally make when something's in, and they try to. That play is designed to try and double blast pack Jing into Canteen, and he's already dead.
Boostio's picking up this off, man. It's a very intelligent purchase. Emphasis being placed as well. I mean, he's had this since the bonus round, I believe, since the 3rd round, for good reason, because paper Rex have been playing so contacty at the beginning.
This is very deep, though, isn't it? Taking Mind Freak smoke and getting into a nice position on side.
Nice.
That's exactly what paper Rex needed.
Okay, that's gonna certainly even things out. Plenty of ults online for each. Here we go. Hunter's Fury comboed with the Orbital Strike up in the tower. One time Forsaken. Bareng. Shut down in the midst of it. Divide. He's lurked his way behind. Let's see how EG deal with this one. They are still capitalizing. Kills.
Mereka selalu diisi ini Bimen
CGRS left alone.
Pasti coba diisi.
Just behind Dice, trying to tuck himself. He needs a bit of a bailout. Divide shut down. He was his last line of defense, and they do deal with it so cleanly.
Yeah, if you want a round that demonstrates how EG are dealing with the chaotic element of paper Rex, that's the one to take a look at. Like I said, paper Rex have a set play there where they're supposed to use Aftershock, they stun, they double blast pack into Canteen, put a lot of pressure on anybody that's playing there. It's unexpected, it's only really paper Rex that make plays like that. Instantly, Jing dies. And then Devi on the flank. That kind of play is going to win you rounds against most teams in this tournament. And yet EG group up together, play disciplined, strict, and deal with it.
Here we go. Fast with the rip. Okay. I mean, I don't know what the reveal was there, but again, just potentially spam through the door, causing Forsaken to fall early on from all of this. It's a squeeze onto the south side. That double push of EG is ripping paper Rex to pieces.
That's so sick by Comp. He throws a shock dart at the start of the round to be able to catch onto somebody, and it opens the door for him to be able to punish the aggressive players. I mean, that is just marvelous timing. How to use a piece of utility to inflict damage and also offer you further opportunities to frag off of it. The combo play there from him supporting Boostio is just unreal to deal with paper Rex.
You can feel it just in the positioning. The way the paper Rex are playing, they are left scrambling for answers. 3 left alive. Slight jiggle. There's information gathered at least. Boombot met with the fault line. All the way slowed down. Ethan seeking to contain any other pushes. Onto Jing, Molly at the feet. CJRS was not aware of it, and he shot the spike out into the open. Mind Freak really doesn't stand a chance. Satchels, util lobbed right over. Straight up bullying at this point.
A prime game in Flawless here in round 9. This, of course, is the map where you expect EG to be the most dominant. This is where they've been able to find their wins against everybody. And I mean everybody. There's no one in the world right now that can particularly touch EG's fracture. But as we head deeper into this map pool, things get into more and more contested territory. To be honest, it feels like paper Rex could win on any of the other 4 maps in the pool. I think we're set up for an absolute banger of a series. Don't let the current scoreline fool you. Paper X will be back with a vengeance later on. So that's designed to put pressure on Com. Doesn't quite hit though, does it?
Yeah, and this time it's Jing who's taking the pathing out towards Sand, but Split approached. It's pronged outwards. No chance to latch onto a kill for any of the Paper X players through the wall though. I believe that might have been just intended for a piece of utility. Demon 1 though, he's holding it down, anchoring, pushing through the smoke. Coverage is there, yet the util still exchange, and Jing is back in the fight, back in the action. 2 for 1 special, Spike not picked up, but now he's got it in his hands.
Does he realize both of the EG were in halls just then?
Oh, this util, it's putting a squeeze on him.
He must do now.
Showstopper from Jorgamo, seeking to deny. Jing spammed up close, up top. Just spotted out. Every avenue is watched for.
How sublime is that, man? Spamming the only spot where he would be able to survive the showstopper. So you guaranteed to scour the map. Ridiculous. We saw EG running this same defensive setup on A against DRX, and it worked immaculately. They're playing a very hard anchor flood defense. They put somebody in a tough position. In this case, asking the world of Demon 1, and he steps up. 11 and 4 with Com running through smokes to support.
Demon 1 emang jago sih, Cok. Dia tapi nggak pakai jet deh.
Down deep as well. Lots of players behind this one, but just Divide to meet them inside the smoke. Boombot trying to seek the timing. He does catch it. Claims the kill. Away, though. Will he get onto the ropes? No, stunned. Just didn't have the momentum to escape, so that's evened out. Drop.
Udah deh.
Troll going to be lost for them. Boostia with the op now. What timing is he going to try and seek? Fast lane cutting off. Hoping for a kill. Spots it. Just the one angle. There it is. To adjust still. Jing as well, holding down that drop with the showstopper in his hand. The rifle to find 2.
Jing has nade for that.
Here's a lockdown. Nade rebounds. Wall bang. Boostio. He's pushing the issue. He's forcing a fight right to them. Shot darts clearing close. Not the best weapon for the job. Dart round the side. Tags onto CGRS. Pushing
my
with the
God.
shorty. Here's the molly. Sails over. Orbital strike still around us. They're not going to be able to get half. EG pushed off of this one. Has enough time. It being purchased all the way through here. I think they've realized it. The job has to be done. Tap onto it. There's the ult force through. The time has run out. Mindfreak claiming that kill. Boostio making the most of it. Realizing he had to get half at any chance of winning.
And that's what it's taken for Paper X to get around on the board. All 5 players falling. Brim Molly and Brim ult used to try and stall that out.
Tadi apa? Gimana bisa?
Jing gave his life to take the lockdown with
40 sih tapi Dok, kurangnya Dok. Maksimum 95 merah.
How are they going to be able
Merah
to
cuma maksimum sekarang.
Sekarang berapa?
Sekarang masih 85 nih, gue buka VPN. Terus saya screen Discord.
Lo streaming gak nih?
Streaming.
Final round of the half here. No matter which way it goes, it's excellent for EG.
Lu kalau mau cabut dulu aja dong, nggak ada.
Nggak, gue masih nunggu jemput.
Yeah, usually they play this off turret contact, but they're doing it off Jorgamo's instead. So that actually allows Demon 1 to hold it. Paper X have to play this round quickly.
Nah, lu cek WA gue tuh. Lu download yang gue kasih tuh.
You can't plant against a Brim ult and a Breach ult.
No, there's no chance. They've got enough stall, enough delay. Tree control gained. Paper X willing to slow it down for but a moment, but we're reaching that minute mark right into the sight line of Boostio. And there it is. Striking back, no damage done. Narrowly missing with that shot, but the dart's waiting for them. Side is compromised. Deep onto the angle, off the dart. That's going to be Boostio swinging, and just look at how good the supportive utility is. We sing the praises of EG all day long. Ethan and Com, they're the difference makers on this.
Download aja, ntar aja pakai.
Remember the clock.
Kelar
There's
lo.
only 40 seconds right now.
Ini nggak buru-buru kan, Dok?
Miles away in terms of the position to use his lockdown, and even so, I don't think Demon 1 would even commit the ult.
Anjing.
This is
Jago banget, Cok.
looking like a nice
RX ya?
Shots fired. Boostio still maintains his cool, watching every angle, and yet they are losing it. It's fallen pieces.
Tapi ini mapnya sih.
You're working against
Tapi banget, Cok.
Your position, they are hunting for you. The orbital strike to clear out and cleave.
Ini nih yang paling jago Joge Mama Demon dah. Kalau sniper bos tio, jago banget kaji.
Remember the words of the desk, this is a marathon, not a sprint. But it started out with EG's structured play, being able to control the chaos of Paper X. I don't think it's likely that we're going to be saying that all throughout the series. But for now, the pretty style of EG with the trap plays, set plays, combos with the ults, it's working.
Absolutely. Got to remember, it's best of 5. Many more maps left to go as well. We're only just in the first half of map number 1. So far, it has just been that chaos being met. Pound for pound. Let's send it down to the desk to break it all down so far.
What is going on, everyone? Golden Boy here. Of course, we had a big old swap, so we got Mimi and Hypoc as well as Achilleos doing double duty today because he really wanted to work. Oh my goodness, what a way to start things off out of the break there, but it's very clear that PaperX, they're going to learn today about EG's fraction.
Yeah, EG really defined the pace and was able to slow PaperX down, and I think a big part of getting that
Gimana,
play rolling is the way they play on their low buys. Always prioritizing
Donatnya yang mana, Dok?
no matter the round and leveraging them to win situations that they really
Anjing,
have no
omit gua.
business winning.
Yang mana, Dok?
Itu download tuh, download remap atas. Iya tadi bawah.
Ini.
Ah.
Terus?
Buka install.
This almost looks rehearsed. EG has stacked up
Sabar,
towards
gua
sand and
screen
rope,
satu dulu.
ready to execute this play. Yeah, and it's really the straw
Mana?
that broke the camel's back in that half because after this, EG go on a monstrous streak and then end up getting into a 9-3 scoreline at the end of this. This is a really crushing start, but this is also kind of what we expected. EG continue to look absolutely gorgeous on Fracture.
And the thing is that EG is even better at orb maxing it, prioritizing those ultimates when they're on the attacking side.
Exactly.
You'll see even in these
Sabar.
early rounds, the player who's
16 giga kan?
kills on the pistol round,
Mana?
even if they lose it, will be
Memori lo
getting those
16 giga
orbs
kan?
and will be
Iya.
putting EG in the direction of a map win, which is the
Mepet
reason why
falan
it's
sampai
so
2 giga
hard
anjing.
for PRX to come back.
Yeah, I was going to mention that same thing, right? It's very clear
Masih
that
sisa
for
3
EG, getting
giga.
that hot start at the beginning of the game really set the tone for them. And then from there, well, the score speaks for itself. We'll see if
Lu ke atas
PaperX
tuh, yang
has the
proses.
capability to be able to bring this back. EG, well, they love this
Sistemnya makan
map
berapa
with
tuh?
Fracture, and they're
80 ya?
looking to close this one
80.
out quickly. Brent, Sideshow,
Oke,
over to
sih.
you.
Bentar gue beli perban dulu. Gak ada ya mas ya?
Dal pas lagi full load, kalau lagi streaming kan, lagi main 5M, lu screenshotin Dal
Ini
ya. Yang
lagi
ini
5M
sama
dia.
yang kiri.
Ini di 5M juga tuh.
Coba lihat HW info lo.
80 start. Tadi 85 kan tuh 87 tuh. Ini plus screen 1 plus ini kelihatan tuh. Ini kan bisa gue giniin kan. 77 maksimumnya doang yang naik.
Average-nya 83 berarti ya.
Apa?
Average-nya itu yang
Iya,
paling kanan.
average-nya
83. Normal harusnya. Tapi dia nyentuh ke 95 ya? Iya. Yang penting dia di apa? Current-nya tuh. Nah, di sini.
Jangan sampai 90 kan?
Sampai 90-an ya.
Iya ya udah. Thank you deh ya.
Ya, lo kalau misalkan lagi nggak sibuk bersihin memori deh, Dal. Pakai penghapus.
Oh, iya iya. Gua hapus. Gua hapus, gua ini gua bersihin.
Penghapus memori ya.
I've seen maps so far in Tokyo where I'm so confident PaperX are gonna lose, and it's gonna snowball into them losing
Thank
the
you, Dok.
series, and they end up winning and
Yo, santai,
going
Dok.
on to continue in the tournament. I feel like we could have said the
No
exact
problem,
same
Alex.
thing.
Let's go,
about
let's
the
go.
first
Come back,
map
come back.
when they played against NRG. Yeah. And then you've got Mind Freak at the end of it saying, I don't know how we won that series. I can't believe we did. But that's the kind of stuff that this PaperX team will give you. Never stop believing.
Just miracle moments. And are skilled enough to jump on them, pounce on them. Very narrow angle for Forsaken.
Bengong nih, Cok.
In the reactions to land that one. Turret catching the contact. He wants to go for a second peek. Will do so. Util dumped into tower. Positions move back. Tower is occupied now as well. They are really pushing out. Divide blinded up. Jump spot round. Forsaken's got his teammates back. Corralled up.
Jason, mending jangan mati, Jason, sumpah.
Refight this one.
Kan, Cok.
Util. Stun, right click in their face. This could very quickly turn sour if it hasn't already. 3 versus 3. The advantage to PaperX being that they know where the positioning of these players are.
And 2 of them will die to a single shot from Forsaken.
Just to stay alive here, get value out of this one, but constantly repositioning. They've got them collected. 30 seconds. Ethan.
30 seconds left.
Com waiting 15 seconds for the regenerative. Util with the dart, there's a stun, and a repeat. Damage still being done yet.
Nice.
Collected in the end. Definitely some danger.
Karena ebol balik nih, gue yakin nih, fix
Iya,
banget.
Cok. Enggak, ini easy run nih. 1 round lagi. Seperti naik lumayan.
Potentially back into the map.
Ini kan dia buy nih.
Can they craft some kind of
Kalau menang lumayan pede nih.
around Forsaken and Jin? If you allow EG the space on the map, they're going to go around, they're going to hoover up the ult orbs. doing a new cosplay or something. And they're going to turn that into round wins. You can't allow it to happen. I think for Paper X, it's a very difficult balance. They have to try being aggressive without throwing it away.
Well, here we go. Talk about aggression. Smoke in his face. No angle cleared. Crossfire set up with Timmy the turret.
Banget sih, Cok, di smoke masih masuk.
He really is.
They've been really trying to clear him out of this. The reactions are just sublime. Busio responding in kind to every challenge he was facing. There were fights taken, evened out across the board here.
Bilang joggingmu jago banget.
It ends with just Mind Freak left alone in the 1v3. Heavy boot steps, they know exactly where he is. Flash and the repeat, supporting util.
Dia selalu ini anjing apa? Antara di flash kalau nggak double pick anjing.
The difference makers.
In that round, I can't believe what Bustio was able to accomplish there. Getting pressured from both sides, the trade should come through 10 times out of 10 in this spot. Of course, the first one, a gimme based on his excellent positioning. That, and then to get a follow-up on CGRS.
Kurang timingnya, Cok. Si Gerasnya kurang timing.
Anjing, dia main pakai jarak pendek, Cok. Lu lihat dah. Kayak pakai kayak di rumah tadi.
Dingin banget tuh anjing pasti.
Kalau udah kebiasaan mah kebiasa. Dia kan kulitnya bego. Beruang. Tuh, gue suka Paper X walaupun gagal dicoba lagi, Cok. Enggak yang takut-takut gitu, Cok. Gila, Cok, orang-orang nih. Suka gue, jadi kadang pressure EG tuh kaget tuh. Dia kira kan, ini bocah abang bandel nih. Kapok nih kan. Ini coba lagi, Cok, kan tai ya. Wah, nggak ada yang belakang, Cok. Bocah Thailand. Bocah Thailand.
Oh, enggak ada mundur.
Bocah Thailand. Nah, bagus, lihat situ. Nah, ketahuan, cakep. Kena. Nah, nice bocah Thailand.
Untungnya kena stun anjing, coba kalau nggak kena.
Bagus sih, guys.
It's not that same level of pretty trap setup that we've seen on EG's defensive side. It's brute force, and it's what you should expect from this squad. Look at the way in which they're just so happy. One stim beacon running together to try and take duels. They're planning to overwhelm EG with pure amount of players on the screen.
The Paper X they do use quite often on
nonton modal YouTube, Cup.
Their playbook when they do that big wrap around, but here we go, a new turn of events.
Oh, mati anjing.
Jing is punished. Tries to take the peek.
Tuh, bocah gila-gila, Cok. Lagi. Nice. Kasih tahu. Lagi. Post sampai bapak yang ngeluh nonton YouTube-nya, Cok.
Lone player left.
Aduh.
Out the angle, has the ult in his hands, he was thinking about using it.
In a 1v3, he knows the other players are going to be grouped up around the spike.
Masih ada C, Cok.
This is some level of confidence.
Wall ini. Pasti kan di ini sih.
Kan pasti nggak bakal nge-pick anjing.
Itu dia pick bego. Lihat tuh di map ya tuh.
Oh, yang
pick itu.
nge-pick tipis.
Nge-pick tipis itu.
Siap nge-stun nih.
Forsaken takes contact, they're going to be pouncing. There's a stun.
Stun, mampus lo.
Pound for pound, like for like.
Gini nih kalau Naruto ketemu Naruto, Cok.
And so Paper win an anti-eco there. Utilizing a big ultimate, but in such a coordinated manner. The pinch coming through here on EG's stack is immaculate. And that's the second time we've seen Mind Freak use his ult like that, just completely trapping players in order to convert around. Paper X is so fast to fight that they're not even really offering.
Time out.
Lumayan kasih pressure, bro. Janganlah kalah kebantai, Cok.
They're just grouping up almost as 5 in one area of the map. And EG tried to counter it there on their eco round by grouping up as well. Tactical timeout needed to be taken here. 4 ultimates available to EG. They have all the tools.
Udah kaget, Cok. 3 ronde di push abis-abisan, Cok. Yang pertama gagal, kedua menang, 3 menang, Cok. Geter nih bijinya, Cok.
The exception around 15 that EG managed to win, but other than that, Paper X, ever since they've got to this defensive side, the story has been theirs.
And it's kind of like Paper X are picking an area of the map, one of the 4 entrances, and just gambling that EG are going to be trying to take an ult off there and trying to shove themselves as deeply as possible into EG's territory. So where are paper X playing this time? It looks like a triple play over towards Dish again. They'll probably throw out some of CGRS's utility to make it feel like it's a north side crunch, but we can see the majority of this aggression, both duelists, stimmied up, are going to be coming from Dish.
Jordan's going to have to be, again, stalwart defender of that one particular section if he's going to be met any sort of pressure. No. Boombot, here's a stimmy, here's the stuns. Sails right through and across. This is a reaction from EG. They choose to use the rolling. Divine was stunned up and
Yes,
but Calm, he does return fire.
Let's
make it a little bit more even. Drone.
Nice, dapat, cakep. Bom semuanya keluarin util semuanya, sampai sampah-sampah nih orang cabut.
Sweeping across the map. This way
Wah,
and
dijauhin,
that. Here's the lockdown now. An attempt to get a bit of a breather in the moment. Lockdown used into tower. Team 1 hears it. No amount of fancy movement will save Forsaken from that one, so space has been cleared all the way through. Mindfreak and Jing, they can't afford to play onto the site, but as it was actually destroyed there somehow, but...
Kenakat nih,
yeah, Jing's used his nade for it by the look of things.
Right at the tail end, there's a satchel plate, of course the top, alarm bot, how is he managing that? He knows what a second player is. No. Ethan normally so good for it. It's just up to Demon 1.
Nice, mampus kecepatan ultinya. Aduh.
Not a showstopper. Jing gonna be using it. One ultimate for it.
Jing, please ulti. Jing.
Nice. Stop it to defuse. Half not getting
Bisa dapet, Cok.
It's done. It's
Nasa ngapain? Memper ini, Cok, duitnya lah tuh, duit musuh ya, Cok.
Iya.
Incredible stuff.
Udah miskin makan miskin ya.
Susah, Cok, kalau tag tuh kalau miskin.
Tapi kan kalau bom yang meledak juga kan, at least duitnya ada dong. Tambah dikit.
And yet as things descend, Jing manages to deal with the lockdown and take out both players in tower. Pops ult to try and stop the denial on the defuse, and yet Demon 1 just has the read.
Wait a minute. Oh no!
That has got to be a reaction to Jing taking those kills through tower.
Absolutely.
Ya.
But I'm sure it was
Masih
turned around
bangsat
as
dia,
soon as
Cok.
Demon 1 won the round.
Dapat.
Nggak dapat.
Immediately struck. Spray through.
Dua,
Spray
Cok.
down. CJRS will only gain the 2. And yeah, it felt like we just exited that replay and suddenly we're met with this scenario, a 1v3.
Yeah, a wild clash on the south side, and Devi is left stunned quickly, 30 seconds in a 1v3. The question being, does he even go for this? They don't have a large loss bonus. Forsaken, CGRS, and Devi would be able to buy next round. That extra gun might be the difference maker.
But he feels like he has to go for it. It's 11-7. Can't let EG grab up way to map point. He has money in his back pocket. Guns would be quite useful. Trying to find one of the fights as well. At least tucks himself into the corner, but gives himself the 1v1 versus Bustio. Bustio glad to take it. So there it is. 12-7. EG onto that map point. EG were ready there for the south side aggression towards Tree as well. They've definitely done their homework. Jorgamo was on the high ground angle, and I believe to meet them when Jing goes for the double satchel play on top of the box to try and punish any sort of attempt there.
We'll see whether Forsaken decides to go for a similarly aggressive setup. He is often trying to challenge towards Tree. If you watch how paper X play on this map, and he doesn't usually have too much backup. He's smoked off.
Yeah.
So the fight instead happening towards Halls, as it did in the prior round.
You might just see a brawl take place. Lots of ults. Here we go. Hunter's Fury, showstopper. Let loose. Jing goes to the corner, but Hunter's Fury is doing work. Clears out the close corner. Jing will fall. So no raised players on either side. Take a breather and a step back now. Reassess the situation. Bustio gaining some ground towards drop, and as there's that re-exploration, Mindfreak was hunting for some information. He pays for it with his live. Divido does catch that lurk round. I have to try and stop this towards Halls. The smokes have been dropped. Door open. Again contacting, slowing it down. 50 seconds left, and they're going to be facing it with the firing line. He will fall.
Sabar.
Forsaken's got to capitalize on this for Paper X to win.
Catching the contact. Here's the ult. Does he let it rip? Yes, he does. Scatters across onto the side. 2 players connected, but so does it onto Forsaken. He stands up.
He ran into it.
No chance.
Trying to capitalize. At least it's bought time. They know it's going to end A. No, Forsaken's worried about it going towards B right now.
It's chaos. It's the fast rotation back over towards it, but EG slowly tightening the net. Util to clear out close to the site. Everything being expended. CGRS and Forsaken, they've doubled up. It's a high-low setup here. Time running so down short. First kill. Granted to him.
Mati, nggak usah planting.
Aftershock pushing him
Ya,
wide.
Forsakennya mati ya.
No bullets left. It's a 1-2 faces.
Dapat
They
2.
have to try and collect these kills. Pushing him all the way down. CGRS.
No!
Enough.
So close, cok. Nice. Tapi keren sempat keren. Abang.
That's 13-7 for EG to take fracture.
Great map 1 for Evil Geniuses. Tough position for CGRS to be in towards the end. He's come through good for them in so many of those incredibly tough spots, but just not quite able
Demo nih mukanya muka mirip ini, cok. Lo bro, BO5 bro, chill, relax, masih banyak mapnya.
Remember though, this is going to be a marathon. It's a best of 5. The Paper X core have played 15 of those across their history. This is only EG's second. I mean, just a crazy situation to be in terms of the experience difference. So a great first footing for Evil Geniuses.
So many moments in the series that are just outlandish, man. Reliving through some of them. But EG were in firm control from the one half. Paper X doing a decent job of putting the fight back into it, making it potentially winnable.
Nah, ini gue yang nge-freeze apa?
Gua.
Of instances as well, but as we've already been mentioning, it's a marathon with its best of 5s. You get into that new territory. Definitely new for a lot of the players on this EG squad. How they're going to be tested as the map will really get deeper. Map number 1. Good one to get under the belt.
Absolutely, and it's the place where you expect EG to be able to get their results. To me, as we head forwards in the series, it's now truly anybody's game. Even when it comes to Lotus, the next map coming up, the first one that Paper X picked, I think there's still chances for either team to take that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, map 1 wrapped up here at our lower bracket finals. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with a continuation of
Nobar Eg Vs Prx.
As we head forwards in the series, it's now truly anybody's game. Even when it comes to Lotus, the next map coming up, the first one that Paper X picked, I think there's still chances for either team to take that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, map 1 wrapped up here at our lower bracket finals. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with a continuation of the series.
Have you ever asked yourself after a bad game, what am I missing? Or sought help from impatient friends? Or browsed desperately for answers that only bring up more questions? Your self-doubting days are over with Discovery, the first game-focused AI. Discovery is trained on the world's leading esports athletes to be your everyday personal coach. That's right. Discovery can help you improve your gameplay by giving you tips and strategies to take your game to the next level. Get started at aimlabs.com/discovery.
This is Sadie. She's on Verizon, and she has the new My Plan, where she gets exactly what she wants and only pays for what she needs. She picks only the perks she wants and saves on every one, all with an incredible new iPhone. Get iPhone 14 Pro on us when you switch. It's your Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Cek PM. Ada perang kah manis?
Dua menit lagi play, bro.
Ada perang kan nih? Mana PM lu nggak ada, Cok?
Hah?
Mana Mike? Ya gue maaf Prox. Berapa jenis map?
What an incredible start here for EG in the lower bracket finals. I'm joined by their coach, Potter. Now, Potter, Fracture, such a great map for you guys, but how do you play against a team like Paper X? You didn't seem like you guys had any issues dealing with their chaotic style.
Yeah, you know, for us, a slight adjustment specific to Paper X was to just let them tell us what they want to do. Let them tell us what duel they want, what map control they're going for. Initially, we just kind of paused for 5 to 10 seconds. Yeah, we're able to react. We were very confident on Fracture, so with that sort of control, we're able to react optimally.
Well, great game plan, Potter. Hopefully you guys can keep this up in this best of 5. Good luck.
Thank you so much for that, Yinsu. Always a pleasure to hear from Coach Potter. And it just, again, played like a fiddle, honestly, when you actually think about it, Hypoc, because really, Paper X, they're a team that they like to show you their hand right away, and sometimes that hand's a very good hand, but EG knew exactly how to stop it.
For sure, yeah, and I think the concern coming into this is actually what EG have shown here at Masters Tokyo with their Fracture composition, their approach to the map. The concern being Neon in Paper X's composition, their ability to get ahead of those utility timings and whatnot is a real concern actually overall, but EG did exactly what Potter said. That slight adjustment completely neutralized that game plan for Paper X.
And even in the rounds where Paper X were trying to hide their hand, it still felt like EG was consistently getting the read on them time and time again.
And I think even when they were shutting down their early aggression, which I thought was a really strong point of EG's idea coming into this map, the late rounds I think are more so what define this one, where when Paper X will oftentimes kind of find that gap, someone will push forward and make that hero play to be able to save them. We saw it so many times in that last series versus NRG, but EG's one of those teams where in those late rounds, they're really good at shrinking the map, playing together, and still having those util combos synergized at the very end of rounds to close things out.
It just feels like they were on the playground, just having a good time. They were just doing their thing at times. And I think that also, just to go back to what Potter said, you saw it perfectly illustrated in those plays there, right, Achilleos? Like, it was very evident that their plan was to let Paper X just do the thing that Paper X does really well. And EG, I like that they can show those layers, right? That they can show that they can slow it back. They can be a bit more disciplined, but at the same time, when they want to get in your face and give you a right hook, they'll be there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you take a look at when the teams aren't even putting in, gun rounds, 8 and 3 in that regard. EG was just out-fragging them across the board. It took a while for Paper X to start looking a little bit more like themselves, to get warmed up. Jing in particular with a very rough start. Forsaken, it was just across the board a bit rough.
Poor Pacific caster Achilleos.
It's okay.
Yeah, but I think what the players that we're really going to be watching throughout this one are the players who have to be quite flexible, and that's Forsaken. He went from being the flex player for the squad back in Pacific when they had something in the roster to now going back to his old role as a duelist. And I think even in the struggles, he's consistently been able to perform. But on the other side, Demon 1 as well, even when he has to flex, he's just so consistently at the top of the game.
I'm losing my mind because I didn't even glance at that. I normally don't go for headshot percentage, but nearly pushing 70 is pretty crazy.
That is outrageous.
That is an outrageous.
Well, I mean, there was that one play where Forsaken literally turned the corner, Palpatine fingers, and he was like, I'm going to one-tap you.
D1's still going for the tap in that situation. It's crazy.
This dude is absolutely bonkers. He really does, but also Paper X has that confidence as well, and they should, because they're going to Lotus here. Now, here's the thing. This is going to be anyone's game. Sideshow was perfectly illustrating that one. Fracture, you got to give it to EG. They're a great team there. But Lotus, that's where Paper X can really catch them off guard, Hypox.
Yeah, I agree with you to an extent.
Fair?
I'm going to counter you.
All right, go ahead, counter it.
What we saw versus Fnatic was Paper X actually being very one-dimensional, and the fact that EG have already demonstrated so far, opening map of the series, they have the awareness, and they're actually playing to basically Paper X's strength and using it against them. So with Paper X showing a very, very simple, like I said, one-dimensional attack on Lotus, I think they have to totally overhaul here. They have to approach this differently because EG are the sort of team they're going to look at that footage and they're going to try and mimic exactly what Fnatic did.
Yeah, and I think EG's game plan on this map can actually be quite similar to Fnatic at a lot of times.
Absolutely.
You don't see them on their defensive side, where they will be starting in this map, really going for those gambits to take extremity control towards A lobby, towards C mount, something like that. Instead, they're really playing this slower style to re-clear space in the late round that really punished Paper X last time.
Yeah, well, of course, Coach Alex is going to have to cook up a plan here, and I do believe that we have Yinsu standing by with Coach Alex to get a few thoughts heading into map 2. Let's take a look.
That's right, I'm standing by with Paper X's coach, Alex. Alex, unfortunately, you guys lost map 1, but I feel like Fracture for EG, such a strong place for them always. But after playing against them, did you feel like there was anything in particular that was tough to deal with and you want your boys to look out for map 2?
I think what they do very well is they combine utility like they have very seamless combinations. I think when their duelists are peeking, Flash will come, you know, stuns will come, and I think it's very, very nice to see. I'm not actually sure how to avoid it other than like I think we're going to try and run away from it faster maybe, or go really more aggressive, like past the utility. So we'll try one of these two things and we'll see what happens.
I mean, if there's anything you guys are good at, it's going fast. So I have full faith in you. Thank you very much for joining me, Alex. And let's see how Paper X gets on in the second map.
I just love the theory crafting. You know what? At the end of the day, gotta go fast.
Speed kills. Let's go.
He's just like a guy running an omakase. He's just like, what can I make today for dinner? We're going to try to add a little bit more of this. We're going to slow things down. We're going to run away faster. We're going to run at them faster. I mean, you can tell like it is so fast and loose with this squad, and it has been able to deliver them results, but we'll see if it's going to be good enough to get a reply map win.
But that's the mentality you need when you're playing with a substitute this far in the lower final. Just being flexible, being chill in these high-pressure scenarios is part of why Paper X is so good in games like this.
You have no other choice, right? I mean, like, look at the atmosphere where we are right now. It's thousands of people crammed into this building. Everyone losing their mind for every single play. And as we jump into the Prime Gaming Agent Select.
Oh, I love this. I love this. I've been waiting for EG to change their comp and bring a Viper. I think it gives so much more to your attack-sided mid-rounds to have that utility.
Absolutely, I agree. I think this is the go-to now. Obviously, EG have demonstrated elsewhere that they're happy to play around with the meta a little bit, bring a little bit of cheese, a little bit of something different. But this, to me, feels like something that's going to stabilize EG's Lotus.
And for the EG attacking side, when they switch on over, I think this works so well because Paper X puts a lot of emphasis on going for those fast fights for a lobby. Leaving that space early and re-clearing with a Viper wall works so well.
One of the things that I need to see right at the start of this is going to be Jing on that race. He needs to have impact. We saw that from him from CDG, those blast pack entries, but EG's been looking good to shut him down so far.
Well, we're ready for map number 2, which means we got to send it back to the madmen themselves. It's, of course, Brennan Sideshow for the call.
Thank you very much, Des Crew. Yeah, let's get into it. Map number 2 here for Lotus as well. I have to agree with the overarching points by the Des as well. EG, they're making these last-minute changes with goals probably to stabilize some of the more one-sided affairs on some of the halves of this map. But
we definitely agree.
Doing it in the lower bracket finals is quite crazy, isn't it?
I think this is a good time to be able to bring out new ideas. You don't know how long they've been cooking something like this. It's not a brand new comp that they've invented. They have other teams that they can look at how the Viper gets used. and what its strengths and weaknesses are. I think one of the big strengths that they're going to be relying on here is that they can play a little slower, right? They can slow the pace of the game down and allow Paper Rex to come to them, come through those walls where you get the decay damage, hit the snake bites where they're going to get vulnerable. And Com's got experience playing this agent too.
So fast. Up the gut towards the map. Picking up the orbs. It's going to be the goal. A bit of emphasis placed as well onto the extremities, but only Forsaken to contain some of it. Jorgum over to Jiggle Pick. There's no way he's gone for this many shots and repeated attempts at that. That's me, man.
Trying to draw out as much utility as possible here. They don't have the Killjoy, they don't have snake bites. This is a very weak C site.
Trailblazer combined with the Boombot. All being utilized together here. A couple of detonations, but the Nanoswarm delays them. Over the top, gonna be Dizzy. Paranoia used in response to it. Cage cuts them up though on well, KG. They managed to swarm into position, left up to just Jing. It's a solo player here towards the back of the side. Yeah, he might have a frenzy, but that's a little bit too much to overcome even for him. So, par for the course, pistol round. Gained in 1 for EG.
And a really well-played C defense. They flood in, buying time with that single Nanoswarm that Boostio had given them while playing the other side of the map. And then relying on the Paranoia too to just delay. And look at the pathing here, going into their own cages in order to apply pressure.
Two right clicks, 1 left click.
It's not just Paper Rex theory crafting on the fly.
What is he waffling about? The right click, 2 right clicks, 1 left click.
I believe it's like...
It's the faster fire rate, right, with a classic?
I think the idea is you put out as much DPS as possible, but a joke, I'm sure, to do with him trying to teach somebody else how to use the classic most effectively.
Okay. Deep push position for Jorgamo. He's pulled down to util, hasn't he? Just with his presence. Even the wingman, that's a flash repeat, but my god, he almost pays for it. Damage definitely done. Backs away for the heal.
They're getting their money's worth out of Ethan's heal, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's 2 rounds in a row.
Trailblazer's now going to be used around us minute mark, so grabs that info. Collection of players.
And this looks like Boostio is going to dive through the door if it's a C hit.
It's going to be slow going though. They're already onto the side themselves. Paranoia right into the corner. They're all grouped up right to the side and jumping right clicks, doing some form of work. And they have managed to get themselves into the back of the side, but Ethan's covering the back angle along with Boostio. Is that slow siege and squeeze, denying everything.
And I also want to draw your attention to the fact that Com is using Nat's Viper Orb setup on C, which is so lovely for flood defending the C site. Instead of trying to hard anchor it with a turret and nanoswarms and snake bites, instead it allows people from Waterfall to run into C and help the players that are anchoring. So this clearly not just been thrown together on the fly. Of course, with everything that comes with Evil Geniuses, they've put some thought into it. Now, what can they do on the bonus round? There are a lot of Alt Orbs on this map, but I don't think Boostio is going to be able to get them all. They're very attack-sided.
Using util to clear through into rubble.
Jing, however, look at Jing just making a beeline for the Alt Orb.
He's hunting for it, the showstopper. There's nothing to stop him from picking it up. Just a bit of poking and prodding. The rest of EG are exploring deep into mid here. Forsaken was the one who's left to really contain that. Deeper push through, the A side's going to be gained for them, and Gavin now pushed up towards the deeper angles. Again, back pit, another fight to be taken. Forsaken so low, the damage for the wall is just spotted. Still Boostio, lay it down. Going to be able to finally take him out. Yes, they are.
Mind Freak not caught by the Trailblazer, able to take down Jorgamo, and it's only Ethan left to stand. Jing got the Alt Orb one way or another, and the rest of Paper Rex having a very clean round. EG not able to win the bonus of both pistols that they've had in this match. Kind of tracks where they've been at towards the latter end of this tournament. That's not been their biggest strength, although it looked like it was going to catapult them to stardom at the start of Masters Tokyo.
So the gun's guarded. Ethan just opting into saving the full armor and the Bulldog.
My eyes are going to be on Jing for the next round, that player, because he's got Showstopper to try and open something up. And it's so much more difficult to play C-Flood defense when the opponent's using a Showstopper. You want to be running away, not towards it.
Yeah.
it opens up many different avenues around the map. And you can see, take a glance bottom left, Demon 1 picking up the AWP, Com with an Odin. So Com's probably going to try and play off site, spam to defend the C site. Where Demon 1 takes a pick though, might well define the round.
No one's actually going to be walking into that sight line though. Everybody grouped up towards A. And again, same util used, disrespecting. Over towards Rubble and Ruins. Just the satchels at work and it's easy to clear the way out. There's going to be the door switch tapped.
Within 10 seconds.
A little door being broken on top of it. Gathering space and time here. Seeing if they can take the fight to Boostio. Well, it is traded. Bit laboured, bit strained.
It's a good trade, but there goes the ult.
Yeah, ult going to be missing. Trailblazer to set this one up as well. Spamming right down that angle. Com almost collecting a kill. They've gained space onto the site. With Boostio falling, all that util is faded. Ethan, he knows he's being pushed. Cage in his face. Forsaken just trying to get out of there. It's getting awkward. Man's still going to go down. Put themselves into the post-plant situation. This flank, it's occurring as well. It's Mindfreak versus Jorgamo. It's an important one. It's going to define quite a bit. But the rest of his team puts the squeeze on. Mindfreak collects that kill. It's going to remove all the danger from one of the extremities. Ethan, good adjustment with the aim, yet it's on point. It's on fire. Paper X on all cylinders, really.
And that's another major round for Paper X to win. They start out this map in the same way they started Fracture, by winning these important round 3, round 4 fights and halting EG's momentum. As soon as Boostio dies early, he's not the first death, but the second, it just opens the door to B. They can't play B retake very well because Demon 1's got an operator on board. And they're kind of relying on those nanoswarms to keep back the horde of Paper X. So there goes the Odin investment, the operator investment.
Heavy Maya, now they're seeking a clash and a skirmish now. This time trying to put the hurt on a team that has just been taking this space for free. Paper X meet a match in one capacity. CGRS falling, but it is again evened out. Spec shown even more, just right past the Viper wall. Jing is not afraid of it. Now here comes the showstopper, combined with a neural theft. Demon 1 up in the air. Skipping right around the side. His position was popped out from the neural theft, the second pop of it. And Jing is just so damn confident. This guy, unrelenting.
Determined to make a statement here on Lotus. Paper X picking this map for a reason. Jing's gonna show him why. 6-3, an opposite beginning for him on map 1 to map 2. Individual form really got swinging. And if you wanted a warm-up map, if you felt like your team needed a little bit of time to warm up on stage, what better map than Fracture, where EG are favored anyway? So now the operator, the Odin, come back out again. Similar kind of setup.
Players matching him though. That's a satchel play and a peek from Demon 1. He does land it. Jorgamo fully blinded up, jumping into the wall like a broken AI. It's going to be met though. Trying to offset it still. What a reaction, what a flick from Demon 1 still. Someone below him, he does not adjust the aim. It's not there in time. So 3 players left standing here for Paper X. Boostio, the timing through the smoke. He's facing the opposite way. He was waiting. Eventually hearing that util being used.
Mati nih. Yakin gua nih.
Kipernya jago banget, Cok.
Spam into the wall here, Com. Almost getting punished for it, but
Si
now
Demon
back away, realizing he has to save it.
Lu lihat ini, Cok. Ini manusia apaan, Cok?
Wah, anjing Davai langsung low, Cok. Lu lihat noh.
Lihat nih ya.
Players matching him though. That's a satchel play
Nih.
and a peek from Demon 1. He does
Yang ini kan nih, lagi nih.
fully blinded up, jumping into the wall like a broken AI.
Udah ngeliat nih.
It's going to be met though. Trying to offset it still. What a reaction and what a flick from Demon 1 still. Someone below him, he does not adjust the aim. And where you just lose all your guns.
Paper X are punishing EG for going for these early pieces of aggression. Potter talked about how important it was that they just allowed Paper X to play the game into them. And it feels like at the start of these rounds, EG are trying to make something happen. Round 1 and 2, Jorgamo was peeking out into the C-mount and getting slightly punished, small amounts of damage, but not giving away a kill. There, he tries to do the same kind of thing to set up Demon 1 with the operator, but got full flash and just ended up walking into a wall. I know the EG guys were talking about Nats looking like a Yoru clone in one of their games. It didn't happen to anybody, I promise you.
Zero M was truly doing the most here. Trying to stop all the aggression that was coming his way, some nasty kills, but yeah, just couldn't quite find with that one.
Double Yoru clone.
Yoru clone.
4-2. Steady lead being gained and granted to them on Lotus.
And the Thrash online an ultimate that they can get massive amounts of value out of, and one that most teams will not have anything prepared to deal with.
Just the one snake bite launched. Sailed all the way through.
Udah dijagain anjing pakai Odin bangsat pintunya.
Iya, Cok.
For an orb tap. There it is.
Ngambil orb pelatan.
Gonna track it all over the place, almost claiming a kill here as the door
Lompat-lompat, Cok. Siapa sih ini?
Kena stun.
There's no punish. Already players though.
Turun 3-3 nggak cukup nih buat bunuh dia kawan-kawan.
Sets up Divine nicely for a cheeky little two-piece. Thresh from the back. Seeker's going to be earned. Ethan already though has taken up the front section of the entirety of the site yet. Okay, brought down.
Tuh nggak ada sini lagi tadi matis kayaknya. Saya healing Cok ada.
PaperX have still got to be careful not to throw it away.
Nice.
Shutting down. An approach from the extremity. They know what Bustio is. The nade forces him out into the open. Clean. Good util from Jing.
Oh, Jingnya comeback sih, Cok. Ngamuk deh.
So PaperX combining, chaining their ultimates to be able to get another on the board. 5 in a row right now. EG with only the pistol and the follow-up. And once more catching EG's players flashed. Obviously Com's going for something there.
Davai tadi matinya gara-gara ini anjing depan
Odin still. But they're not quick enough to be able to disengage from the aggression of PaperX. You think back to what Coach Alex was saying, or we either need to run away from their utility or run past it, run through it. At the moment, PaperX have increased the tempo and gone forwards. They're running into Demon 1's operator in order to punish it. They're running into Com's Odin in order to get the punish there.
See the uncertainty just in the way that EG are playing. Like you said, you know, the players are getting caught with these weird, quirky timings. They don't quite know when to retreat and back away when the util comes through.
Too late for a 13-0, I'm afraid. But the momentum's good for it to be one-sided in the opposite direction to map 1. Here's something I've noticed too. Since adding the Viper into this composition, EG haven't actually been going for any large rubble control plays. They're not trying to throw snake bites early to stop PaperX from gaining that area of the map. Maybe they've just decided it's too much to deal with the Flash Dizzy combos and Mosh Pit being thrown out. PaperX do have a lot of utility to just unload all at once. And they're going to go for it again. I mean, here's PaperX once more. Flash Dizzy combo, Mosh Pit, this kind of stuff to be able to take A early.
It's working. No reason to switch it up.
Jing's been able to sprint over to the A door within 5 to 10 seconds.
Nothing to stop him. Cage, Flash. Cuts up the angles, Ethan.
And look, now they're using even less utility because they know that EG aren't contesting it.
Cam deep, Boostier's tagged, Paranoia, they want to chase down this kill. Forsaken is eager for it. Already, what a shot! Reaction to that one, adjustments. Just the micro movements of the mouse. Have to give him the kill. Com, he's left to try and hold back. Again, this unrelenting pressure. He knows that there's a team building up behind him. Noise cut as well. Makes it feel like they could have just been walking themselves into B, but now as the door opens up, Trailblazer through along with a show. Stopper! Vulnerable up. Okay, Com deals with the first piece, but they're already into the side. Out wide, Mindfreak wins his fight. Ethan towards the back, and he has claim 2. Brought them down to their knees. Blinded up though, Jorgamo. He's opened up wide, and this is an adjustment made still. The spike is out in the open.
And Ethan knows it.
Yeah. He's given up the space. Claim to give it out. Him and Demon 1 can hear the tap of the plant.
Spike planted.
No theft back online. That's Forsaken again doing damage and doing work. It's going to be spotting out these players. Do they want to go for a play here? Device close to the flash. He backs away. Playing together now. Knowing that they doubled up. Dashed. Breaks up. One of the crosshair placements and sight lines. They know that Forsaken's up onto Heaven and they pick the timings just well enough. But maybe Demon 1 can do something with this. Only the one foul and to buy. Sky has been brutal at times, looking like the best player on the team.
Kasih tahu dapai.
Asik banget hero play too, hiding inside the smoke in order to make that round back in their favor. Bit of a missed input there from Jing. He threw another blast pack, stopped him from being able to shoot the showstopper, and offered Ethan a chance to win the round. But it's the Sky on the other side that's been doing the most for PaperX when they need it.
Adios. Got a feeling. No breaks in the play, no pauses here. Straight out the replay within the first 5 seconds, already some action. It's the mound control. Taken up.
Lu megang mana, Bro?
Bro, sipret lah.
Prx lah, Prx.
Prx berapa?
Com's going to be using a snake bite to try and push them back once more, but
3 buat Prx, 2 buat
through, it's forced a ton of rotations.
Berapa
Now they work
ini?
their way over towards B.
600.
EG growled into the corner onto one of the extremities.
Dapat nih, dapat nih. Iya 600
Again,
dapat.
a potential sight line where somebody could be there. Jing.
Dapat nih kiri lu Jing. Iya naruh cepet. Nice.
And they have toppled down. It's 3
Nice.
versus 3.
Ketret cok.
Lama banget truk itu truk. Gua udah duluan truk.
Lockdown is in play. Do they have anything to break this one? It doesn't look likely. Have to give it up. Can't play this one together.
Serious opportunity for EG.
The positioning now of these players, it should be more predictable. Smoke onto the defuse. Boostio should be granted half. Mindfreak has found the first. Half onto the defuse. Time has been bought. Here
Nice.
onto them. Paper X 7, Josh. 7-2 being that scoreline. This is so damn one-sided.
EG just can't hold on. All of the close rounds, all of the close moments. Somebody on Paper X steps it up. This time, CGRS with only his second kill of the map, being able to find a timing past Demon 1, who was instructed to keep providing those cloudburst covers for the player on the defuse. Paper X keep having an individual that makes the difference. And on top of all of this, EG can't figure out how to play the defense. They can't find a feel for the tempo. They keep getting punished early.
And potentially that lack of practice, swapping around the composition at last minute. Going to be hurting for that practice, that scrim time here. Forsaken, taking disrespect, just drag that util out of them, but Mindfreak does fall.
Nice.
Forsaken, no. He's not happy to give anything up, is he? He's alone when he's taking these fights.
Yeah, he's going to be so aggressive on the lurk in these kind of situations. Mindfreak went for something hyper-aggressive too. There was pressure towards A and C, so he decided just to go in on B through the Killjoy utility.
He could just jump spot, that baits in the push from Forsaken.
And this is going to be so hard to play without your smokes.
Marmot notifying them. Nade clears
Nice.
again. Familiar play that we've seen
Gak dapet set B-nya.
Demon 1. Gonna do so much here. Showstopper from Jing out into the open. Misses the rocket wide. CGRS. Plan from the wingman. Dodging of the flash.
Nice. 2v1. Percaya gue malu.
Demon 1.
Almost a pre-fire, it was that quick.
God almighty. No time to react to that.
Demon.
So EG finally get their first gun round on the board. A reminder that
Oke,
they were
attack udah dapat 7, oke. Set lagi. Dapat 8.
Bisa lah ya, dapat 8 bisa lah ya.
Bisa.
It's still worrying for EG how they're holding on to door control. Mindfreak going for an over-aggressive play in
Tadi
B,
nggak mati sih anjing.
realizing that they were relying on the Killjoy utility, just TPs past it, gets caught by Demon 1. But I'm still not
Tadi kalau kena
content
ultinya
how
Raja
EG
mati
playing
tuh
the
bisa tuh
breakable
anjing.
door control. So often Jing is just throwing one nade into there, flushing a player out and getting a kill.
Masih ada 2 ronde dan.
There's got to be adjustments. And Boostio is going to drop back
Iya deh,
into
ronde
play
lagi
C,
lupa gue.
hard anchoring that spot.
2 rounds left and a half. 2 more chances.
This is another round where CGRS has the Thrash online. And this one's a major tool. It is so difficult to deal with, especially on a map like Lotus, where there's 3 sites and you tend to be more split up. Good luck spraying that shark down.
200 HP, difficult target to chew through. To pause in the play once more. Contacting, it's the name of the game. One-way smoke, but now eventually with the util brought back online, here's a nade over the top with the showstopper.
Aduh, kena juga, Cok.
But the satchels at least to take up all of that space and ground. Ultimo was trying to TP onto the high ground to see if he can get a bit of a punish, but a bit of a whiff. Spike has been planted, so into the post plan we go with Paper X. Couple of layers to it. Jing's gonna be the
Nice.
first one to receive,
Demon kenapa jago, Cok? Untung mati nih.
He looks so sharp. Towards the back of the side.
No.
Can they remove him? They can indeed, but they have so much more to get through. Towards the connector. Boostio's doing a decent job of things. He's already found his way onto the side. Into the connector. He goes. Half of the defuse, sticking it through. Boostio, he will not be denied. And EG collect themselves a nice little round there. 4-7. The setup there, Paper X, just too distracted on the flanks there to try.
Ini kenapa masang bomnya di situ dah?
Enggak, itu apa yang anak-anak kecil
EG
itu,
will be
Cok.
taken with 4 players coming from drop. Boostio with a major 2K. Caught off screen. But he's top fragging now for EG. Take a look at this replay. Here he is coming through for the punish on Jing and then just drops down, deletes CGRS. Gets on the defuse. And And it's not the greatest plant in the world. Wingman taking that into a bit of a difficult spot.
Kena, Cok.
Same defensive setup.
Gila, Cok. Emang hafalan dia banget anjir, Cok.
Fire has to return back for the heal. Can't play the early aggressive angle here. Now you're setting up the CGRS with the ult.
Dia pasti backset mu, dia nggak pernah tengah-tengah, soal di backset ya. Nih kan, tuh kan dia tahu nih, ya kan. Langsung dicek, Cok, backset. Udah tahu dia jarang-jarang jaga di set, Cok. Oh, kayaknya diisi.
Good paranoia. Cuts its way across, no kill to be claimed. Spike still planted again. It's not a good spot for it, really. You can't really spam from this angle. Seeker's in his face.
Belakang!
He's grounded it.
Belakang!
It does not matter. Judge
Belakang!
it, man. Shotguns versus shotguns. And Com claiming two. Towards the side now.
Nice.
Needs to be a fight taken. Good trade, but Demon 1 is instantly there. He's low, though. Has to back away. Someone has to get on his defuse. It's Ethan facing away. Back to the wall. Spam onto the corner. Will he go down? Will he not? It's covered in time, and EG... That's a respectable finish to the round. Still down, 2-round deficit, but the half ends at least not in dire straits.
Yeah, EG have somehow saved this one. Ridiculous fashion these final 3 rounds. The Seeker caught Com inside the smoke. And yet, there's no way Jing is expecting him to still be in there, pushing forwards with a judge. PaperX taken off guard in the final couple by a defensive change-up in the setup. Now we head into the next half, and it's actually fairly even.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't be.
Fairly even. Chances here, of course. Let's send it down to Yinsu.
Ayo bro, langsung bro, bisa bro.
There you go.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm joined by Benkai here. Now, Benkai, you've been here with this team before international tournaments. The first half, the first map, not the best, but this half has been a lot better. So talk me through what you made of this half.
I think we just caught EG really well with like the pace that we had at the start, like, and our aggressiveness. It just feels like we've been pretty much doing the same thing, and it just seems to work. So they're just gonna run with that throughout the whole map, I think.
Now for EG, they've never made a grand finals at an international tournament before, but you guys have. So what do you think that your boys need to do in this best of 5 to make sure that they do make another final?
I think they just need to keep their spirits and their moods high, because the way that we made the finals last year in Copenhagen was we just had a really good mood and everyone was feeling really confident, which does seem like they're having the time of their lives right now, like no matter what the score is. So I'm not really that worried about them not taking the map.
And lastly, very quickly, obviously you used IG on the team, and now we're hearing the system is a little bit different. Would you be able to explain some of what's happening in the team right now in terms of the IGLing situation?
It sort of is everybody contributing at the same time, so each person will have their own input, like, oh, they are doing this at the start of the round, what can we do to prevent that from happening, and then they'll just form a plan around it together. So it's sort of like 5 people contributing together to make one round.
Wow, yeah. I mean, it's working right now, so thank you very much for joining me, Benkai. He's confident, so I'm confident as well. What about you, Sideshow and Bren?
Got to keep the vibes going. I mean, that's the one thing we have learned about this PaperX squad, you know, especially with them now dishing out this kind of IGLing duties across a lot of these players, 5 players, you know, coming up, formulating a plan. If the mood does get sour, it can put a bit of a dampener as well in terms of the comms and who's contributing to it.
If you wanted a team, though, to keep their spirits up, you'd be looking at PaperX. I feel like they've done so much work for that. It's something that Alex has really pushed for them as well. They know that they need to keep spirits light, and I think that that's actually something that CGRS has been great at. Another pistol. They went 1 for 1 on map 1. And here, it could be all the difference made with this round.
Potential for EG to drag it even. PaperX, though, they'd love to have a chance and an answer back here. Cam's going to be spotting them. Tap onto the plan. In fact, full committal as well. They've been used dizzy in their face. Nobody can see a bloody thing. And somehow, it's Mindfreak who comes out with the kill. Lots of damage being done. An attempt now and a call to flood right back out of this one. Com joining with the rest of his team. This crossfire setup. Mindfreak has opened up the door, and inside the smoke he has hunted out and sniffed out. Ethan is there. Wingman to the side, seeking the defuse. Demon 1 has to try and put the pressure out. He has to swing wide to try and break this one.
Nice.
Kill in time.
Nah, si bocilnya berguna buat gitu doang, anjing tuh. Apa?
Attempt now and a call to flood right back out of this one. Com joining the rest of his team. Inside the smoke, he has hunted out and sniffed out. Ethan is there. Wingman to the side, seeking the defuse. Demon 1 has to try and put the pressure out. He has to swing wide to try and break this one. He cannot claim a kill in time. PaperX steal away that one. Pistol round is theirs.
It's rare you see Lil Bro win a round, but that puts so much pressure on Demon 1. Usually he's in a spot
Akhirnya
where
menang
he's trying to
juga.
play, he knows that he's going to be able to isolate a 1v1. This round CGRS combos Dizzy with the flash. Excellent way to put pressure on people as the plant is going down.
Gila comeback, guys.
Then he's picking up kills. And he makes things almost impossible for Demon 1 to win the clutch. I've been so impressed with how Paper X has taken an agent that is seeing almost no playtime in competitive Valorant and pushing it right to the top. They're making a tournament run with a Gecko 1 trick.
Yep.
This is absurd. And it looks good.
You'll be seeing teams experiment, Josh. Listen, don't get too carried away.
We saw teams experiment. To me, that's one of the wildest parts. We saw teams try to run the Gecko and they failed.
Yeah.
Early on in the season.
I was mainly talking about the idea of running 5 content creators on a team.
Oh,
and
right.
playing it at pro level. Let's not give Sentinel any more ideas, but
they'd love that.
Yeah, I mean they certainly would.
Tangannya habis dibersihin.
All right, so once more, both teams go 1 for 1 in pistols, and that's one of those strengths that I talked about for EG at the beginning of this tournament. It made them look utterly unstoppable.
Oh, Dava dapat 3. Nice.
Grouped up, gathered up. Work their way into the side, smoke in their face, and with the Bulldog, it's all clean. Only the one casualty, that's Mindfreak, will be able to save his gun as well. Take it to the next.
Not the biggest ult in the world that you want to be generating, to be honest, but Mindfreak could be happy about it anyway. On the other side of things, Com is now 1 orb away from having his pit down. And if EG want any chance of being able to get back into this, they need to be leaning heavily into that ults generating, other ults generating rounds, the snowball, the avalanche. Com's actually playing this first part of the round alone, though. Just going to throw his orb down, at least to give him an opportunity to return back to A in the round.
Yeah.
See where he wants to play.
One way in a boombox to set it up, smoked across, and a flash in the face of Mindfreak. He has to get out. Gives up the angle. It's 2 trips to play off of.
So Com's going to take this orb. Those trips are going to be dangerous in this half. We saw teams try and run the raise to be able to break those satchels, so useful. Demon 1's going to have a little bit of a tough time, and especially if Com decides to do something like pit into C, those could be a big issue.
It's all been slowed down around the minute mark. Line up for a bit of global pressure, so this Trailblazer and a Snakebite, it's going to fake like they're taking it over towards A. The goal of this is to pull rotations back over towards that area of the map. It gives up C ever so slightly, but I mean, Mindfreak's not taking a bait. Jing looks like he wanted to, he's backing away, but again, now he's playing back towards C, still holding this paranoia, and here it is. Sails through, vulnerable duck in his face, TP's back out again. An idea and approach, these trips, will anybody be able to play off of it? Satchel to the side, it is latching onto them still. It's Brute Force, it's the name of the game for EG. Get themselves in, and the pit is down at their feet. Ethan covering the fire just as it blooms, an attempt, a chance, but Forsaken, only the one.
And I believe they're planted outside the pit there. Maybe I miss Zor.
Well, maybe a chance for them. Devi is low though, can't quite get the crosshair on the target. Devi revealing his position, bit of spam into the corner. 8 bullets left with the Bulldog. Just an impossibility with the Viper's pit in his face.
God,
look
what
at
a
that gap
setup
as well with the pit. I mean, there's a slightest gap there for Boostia to play in. Com, adjustment, a flick to the side, it shuts it down. So, 6-9. We said it was a must-win round for EG. Couldn't have let that one get out of their hands and let Paper X get up to 10.
And they clearly had a game plan with that ultimate. I mean, that looks like a nerdy Viper ult.
30 seconds left.
Little gaps where they know how to support each other, how to be able to play in the post. Ethan, Com being able to play off each other immaculately there to trade out effectively.
Paper X jago nembak semua, apakah cocok main FF Anda? Cocok.
Making a go of it. It's so hard to try and punish a player.
They didn't
Mau
realize.
masuk line up anak go.
They didn't know that Boostio was around the corner. If Jing had known, that
Turnamen ini
nade is
ikut dia
going
kan ya?
through and they are blast packing onto him. Almost 10 times out of 10, I think.
So Boosty is able to escape. The damage being done to him, just the turret being broken. Nice mid-rounding from EG. Breaking a lot of the util. Cam was spotted out as well, which
Kamera bisa balik lagi kan Dal ya, kasih tau gue ya.
Bisa. Dengan
The
delay.
rest of the team now work and set their sights onto A.
Masuk Predator red zone.
His ultimate.
Kalau Pep PPX mau bagi dua bisa, cuman kayak dia mau satu tim jadi kayak ini sih Predator.
Door's broken. Trailblazer leads it in. This makes it feel like, I mean, it feels like they're almost just going into B, but
it might bait CJRS to push through the smoke.
Still waiting. This smoke's surely going to be fading in any moment now. Yeah, the timer, the internal timer, CJRS's head, but Orb gains. Seekers pushing forwards. Bustio, he fell in the middle of all of this. He was lurking out towards the back line. Demon 1 is there. Takes care of CJRS, the lone player, onto the site. Plant to go down. See how this post plant gets played.
Forsaken's just missed his cam, I think. He was trying to use it to clear out Com, or at least to give him some information.
Forsaken feels like there could be a player lurking through the main choke. It's an important fight to take. 3 players of PaperX roofed up now. Here's Forsaken through, does not expect it, so taken care of. And now, the entirety of EG can set their sights towards the back of the site. Nade sails over the top. Devi finds the first onto just Com. Satchel plays in, but time is starting to run really short here. Demon 1 still locking it down for the tree. Angle flash in their face. Backed around. Satchels. Full collapse. Body of PaperX falling.
EG with an important one on the board here. Starting to
Ini yang jaga CE belum si itu cok, belum si Forsaken. Biasanya yang jaga Forsaken soalnya.
Worked very nicely. They increased the tempo.
Lagi cengset deh nih, biar nggak ketahuan gameplaynya kali.
And CJRS has used his utility to re-clear that area. And that's part of how PaperX have looked to generate their advantages, is by calling EG's bluff. That time CJRS, he was thinking about it. We saw him inside the smoke, wondering if he should try and gain that info back for his team. And he just ended up a little too close to the exec when it happened.
Timeout called. What is the adjustment now that needs to be made for PaperX?
Masalah baju jersey itu kadang banyak yang panas, Nick.
On this half.
And do you think they're discussing strategy, or is it a vibe shift?
It might just be a vibe check, honestly. Yeah.
It could be absolutely anything with a PaperX timeout.
You just don't know.
Their comms videos are wonderfully crafted. I mean, really illuminating into what the team atmosphere looks like. But sometimes in these big matches, there is a single player that steps up. Forsaken said that it was him in that grand finals that they played, but they were crowned the victors over in Pacific. In moments like this, in an arena like this, sometimes you need a player to step up and take charge. Sometimes the hive mind has the struggles, has the wobbles, and you need a hero. So far in Masters Tokyo, they've been talking about how good CJRS was at that he's IGL for them in a couple of maps. Talk about unlikely heroes stepping up.
And here's an adjustment. 4 players to meet them. Take control of A. Mosh pit clears around. I mean, you can't disrespect that piece of utility. You will be falling. They've earned that area of the map quite early. In fact, they've completely given up C. But they are on a half buy, so it's a good time to take risks like that. Maybe we'll see the adjustments as well that they were making towards the next one when they've got the money to buy up the guns. Chance of a timing. Forsaken with the Sheriff, who will grant him a sightline. Bustio, he's eager for it. The opportunity and chance.
And Con was trying to backstab these B players that were opening the door. Now he's getting crunched.
Yeah, he's the one who's going to be squeezed. Can't lose these rifles, can't give this one over. This is a little bit precarious. Right through, vulnerable. Nope, spams down 2. Enough damage done. CJRS, he holds it down, but there was help on the way. Ethan, ready to clean him up, make sure that rifle did not fall into enemy hands.
Very smartly played by Com. I think that's one of the big reasons why the Viper works so well against PaperX. Just being able to vulnerable your opponents as they push you is a massive advantage. Didn't work out amazingly for Evil Geniuses on their defense side. But now, only 1 round separates these 2 teams. Ult advantage, though, very slimly, I would say, in favor of PaperX here, with CJRS having Thrash online. It's good for information, it's good for applying pressure, retakes. Very versatile ultimate.
Beginning of this round, though, is going to be a quick dash towards the side of Rubble. With a flash over the top to supplement. Gives some of that space towards A. Deep dart as well. Bustio, he was tagged up. Plenty of time, apparently, to adjust your aim enough and brings down Mindfreak. So, into the front of the site we go for EG. Clearing this one out. They don't know if the back of the site is compromised. Still going to have to potentially clear that one up, but just giving it up for now. Plant's going to go down. Nothing to dissuade it. Forsaken on the high ground. Not the best weapon for the job, is it, with the Odin? He's aiming for the heads, but Almost gets taken down in response. And here's Thrash. You might start to see it really pay off here. Any sort of detainment will be nice. Spam onto the corner. Ethan, he brings down Jing, but detained. So, 1-for-1 trade. Players posted up. Far back angles. How do they approach this one with the defuse? They still have the wingman. Possibly get themselves onto it. That is beautiful. The Neuro theft that sets them up in the paper mache walls. They fall to pieces. Odin spam on top of it. That is just miraculous.
What a play! Paper X looked fabulous there. They combined Trailblazer, Boombot, and Thrash together. So you can't possibly break them all. That gets them the opening into the side.
Lu apa, Bi? 3-0 lu ya?
And then the spam of the neural theft.
Nggak berani ngentot 3-0.
It's Paper X to a T. Yeah, it's unusual. You don't think about it. Who else is playing Cypher on this map? Beautiful stuff. And the Boostio aggression giveth and it taketh away.
Kalau misalkan 3-1
He
untung
found
berapa?
one and then got caught.
How surprised Ethan was at that.
3-1, 3,5.
Brush it off though in these big moments. Here we go. Fight taken with the
tapi kan
flash and
tiga-duanya
nade.
Si pemberani lihat.
Mampus
lu, Demon, mampus lu Demon. Kayu lu, knife lu jelek banget bro di sini bro, sumpah nggak kayak kemarin lu cupu lu Demon cupu sih mampus lu Demon lu. Ya tahu boosting lu di sini nih guys, tahu boosting lu kasih tahu.
3-0-nya EG.
Oh, dia 3-0.
Siapa, Cok?
With Paper X reading the fact that they were going to take Boostio's lockdown to C and countering it immediately.
Mau di-pick mau EG kuat juga namanya final mah pasti semua
Iya, nggak mungkin 3-0, Cok.
I think it's unacceptable for EG.
3-2 lah palingan.
Iya. Kalau nggak 3-1, cuman gua nggak tahu 3-1 ini siapa nih. Cuman kalau dilihat tadi mapnya harusnya Paper X masih bisa dapat 2 harusnya. Terus tadi juga Forsaken kan suka banget di split tuh. Tadi ada map split. Iya, termasuk suka Paper X, Cok. Jadi ya mungkin bisa menang, Cok.
Map split sama map Heaven tadi ada Heaven.
Vector ya, Vector tadi.
Lotus, Fracture kan udah tadi. Tadi tinggal Lotus, Split, Heaven, sama Split ya. Tadi kan di band. Heaven di band ya sama Split ya.
Iya.
Lower bracket finals, no more second chances. Yeah.
Ini kenapa lagunya kayak gini dah?
Is that they do a lot of stuff that's based off timings and instinct, and then they'll throw a trap play at you, some set coordinated piece of defensive aggression on many of their maps that takes you off guard with how coordinated it is. And that's quite a standard trap play that they just showcased, but I think that really left EG reeling.
Something, no problem, man. This guy, he can't play. CJRS is in, stepping up for the team. Listen, not exactly the one-to-one in terms of the roles, but they are just plugging and playing him in with his Gecko knowledge here. And now Paper X up to 11.
Boostio's gone for an attacking operator to try and deal with what PRX are up to.
It's interesting. How's he going to clear this close corner? Because look, it's CJRS. He's posted up deep onto Rubble.
I mean, this is exactly where the Snakebite lineup goes. If Com wants to send one in.
They do have utility to clear it. At least the lineup in the back mines we've seen Com use it.
There's actually more of an aggressive fight happening.
Odin di map ini sih kayak kontol dia, Cok.
Still holding W.
Tapi kalau belum ngobeng.
Kagak ada yang nggak mungkin, Pi anjing.
Disrespect being shown.
Cuman kemarin dia lawan ini yang sengit, Cok, fanatik.
Tanking two of the flashes.
By the way, ini Paper X ngasih sengit juga ya, tapi walaupun tadi kalah. Tanya si Bedrock. Walaupun nggak sesengit lawan apa fanatik, tapi lumayan sengit lah. Pasti ada yang ngiranya dibantai-bantai, Cok.
Nggak ada.
Tiduran, Cok. Gue tadinya tuh main cantik dan gue pasang ada overtime.
It's time for a lockdown, and it looks like they're going to take B control.
Lockdown, door opens up, an attempt to try and punish this one. There's a fight being taken as well, punishing it all over towards Mound. Jing is there. Hold on, shots right through the wall. Lockdown's going to be getting off here. Fight needs to be won. Backing away with the satchels. No players detained, and the site is theirs. Viper's Pit. Drop through. Wallbang spam angles. They got lineups on lineups for days. But Demon 1 will put down any sort of funny business with the very funny gun. No chance in hell. Demon 1 is ripping off heads and taking names off the list, isn't he? Single-handedly making this one winnable.
It's a great game plan from EG too. Looked like CGRS was going to be difficult for them to deal with over by Rubble. They just ignore him completely. I like the patience too that EG demonstrated in this round. Jing was a constant problem for them. And so they dealt with all of the supportive elements and have left Jing until the very end to mop up. Don't offer him any early fights. Pick off his support with an operator, head to the other side of the map, and use your ults to be able to get into a side exit properly. It's nice. It gets EG up to 9, but Paper X is still in control of this map.
For most of this map, it's felt like
Iya, orang mereka nya nggak bisa di semi push, Cok.
back to the half as well, and 75 just being carried all the way forwards. The narrowest of leads still held by Paper X, still in control.
Kalau tadi dia di push juga pada getar semua anjing.
Iya, makanya gue bilang EG ini nggak bisa di push, Cok. Harus di push terus ini. Sniper ada sniper sih.
Sniper sakit sih anjing.
Iya, Cok, sniper gila, Cok. Gue nggak bohong dah, gila banget. Yang round pertama gila banget, Cok.
Sacrificial trailblazer just goes to take the trip. And now that forces Paper X to go for info peaks.
Mati nih nge-pick nih. Tempo dah.
When you're up against the operator.
Not at all. Boostio's on such an aggressive.
Kita dapat baca ini orang.
I mean, he spots it. And there it is. Another one for the collection. Oh, when he opened though, he had Util in his hands, and the cage cut him up from the rest of his team. There was no follow-up. Forsaken tucks himself into the corner.
No way.
Into the box. Is this going to get cleared? Some level of foresight. It's there, and a re-swing. Spam the ball through the box. Team 1 dashes forward.
What timing, Cok?
He's got his back. Coverage. In the moment. 40 seconds in the round. Plenty of time to take a breather, but they opt to take the spike. Get the plant anyway. There's Devi left in that 1v2.
Giving away his position with the flash.
Yeah, and he's only got the op to do it. Smoke in his face. Paranoia. Sensory deprivation, doesn't know where they are. Silent drop down, still contacting. I don't think they saw across here, but there's so much to watch for. Yeah, Devi's got util, but does he choose to use it? Ult popped off.
Clearing back
through into the back. It's pinged out. I think they know the Devi's here. If you tap onto it, it's a weird plant location. Door rotates, he hears it. The footsteps perfectly sound baiting, perfectly noise baiting. There was no tap from Devi. So it didn't exactly force the issue from EG, but they chose to take the fight anyway.
So EG pick another one out and drop Paper X's economy down into rough territory. Not impossible, but ever since Boostio has gotten this operator online, EG have found victories out of it. I think it tames Boostio a little bit too. Some of his lurk timings have been overly aggressive.
Yeah.
Trying to make a play, desperate to drag his team back into contestation on this map.
Dia mau ulti itu tadi ya?
And now he's been able to find a lot of good opening fights. It's also slowed their tempo down. Instead of having to react to Paper X, they can control it and fight purely for map control, going into some kind of execute.
Ini kayak kote gue pede sama Paper X sih, Cok.
Tisu basah, kopi, anjing.
Soalnya map dia, Pi.
Rokok, tinggal rokok sama asbaknya itu.
Pede gue kalau ini, kalau kote.
Anjing itu kan sisa rokok sama asbaknya anjing. Di map ini udah pasti Cyphernya ini. Lo ngebet 3-0, Ong. Yoi, mamen. 3-0.
Previously saw it in game changer.
Lihat tuh Stinger only, Ong.
The Pacific Grand Finals against DRX for a reverse sweep to happen in this circuit. So they know they can do it. You'd never want to be in that spot. Especially when this is
1,5. Cuma 3 doang.
Iya 3,58 harusnya.
Kalau gua pas masaknya pas 2,7.
Main bakaratnya 2 kali juga jadi apa ya?
Iya, kasalah nek.
3 juta.
Iya, Cok, santai aja.
Iya, Cok, lu roulette rolling aja.
Ngebet gini tuh untungnya tuh kalau parlay gitu.
Langsung flash setup. Sakit banget kepala gua katanya. Dia kan kalah main Dota. Langsung dia roulette kalah gope anjing.
Oh, bego. Tahu kagak dia asal ngebet nonton.
Iya, goblok.
Tapi sebenarnya tuh kalau yang kayak bet parlay-nya bego. Kalau 1 by 1 gini enggak terlalu gede untungnya.
One more left to gain.
Enggak, tapi ya
this game plan. Be aware of it, but I don't think Paper X really have any of the tools.
Ya, kalau itu fun bro ngebak. nebak 10 tim kan, siapa tahu bener dapat motor.
This one though. Look at this lineup. Where's this one gonna land? Mosh pit.
I mean, it looks like it could be on. I don't know. I mean,
not
on
too
the.
sure.
Ayo
It can't
cok,
be
let's go
on the on top,
cok.
It must be for rubber.
Ya dapai goblok
Where's the
semua
context
kayak.
for that?
Danger
Lu master berapa?
Information
Depan doang gua.
onto a cacophony of players.
Gua bilang Stinger only guys, Pepper. This is Pepper. This is Pepper. Kasih tambah 1 poin lagi. 12. Stinger only adik-adik. Ngide si botak dongo. Stranger kasih tahu Stranger lu. Ngedas aja. Mati, lu masih mati. Aduh, goblok lu main freak.
Buaya ya.
Dapat lagi.
AWP bro, demonnya bro. Dapat 1 ini.
Right for him, pushing deep into the spot.
Udah ketar-ketir,
Over their heads, Dizzy lands Jing. He hasn't spotted it. Ships in the night. Commerce looks right behind them, and they are none the wiser. Clearing out everything. I cannot believe it. It's planted for him.
Wah, kacau cok.
Dulu sabar, dulu kom.
A massive play. One to save the map, a tap on.
Dia bisa tuh.
Agak reload.
Another tap forcing a snake bite. Doesn't know if it connects. Has to be a wide space. Half onto the defuse. It's shut down. But my God, what a chance!
Wah, itu goblok banget sih anjing, sumpah kagak reload. Gua tetangga anjing.
Kalau reload kedengeran.
Unbelievably smart play.
Agak reload lu tinggal 2 anjing.
But credit has got to go.
Itu kalau reload mati itu.
Satu orang satu pala, pede.
That's what really seals this round. What on earth is this? Dizzy combo with flash. They open the door, win one out. Players pushing through the breakable door, which was softened up earlier on.
Udah nice banget, Cok.
Yeah, that's what $1,000 a gecko looked like apparently.
And also,
Nggak, ini overtime. Masa overtime? Mana Japra?
You look at Tab, you see Boostio's taking 1 ult top, 2 ult tops, you know he's going A.
Berdekan aja ngontin anjing.
Anjing, dapat nih, banyak nih.
Only one step away, out in the open, Boostio does not know which way to
Terus Paprex.
That's the lockdown gone.
Yep.
Made to look silly, foolish by Paper X.
Next Davai.
Davai goblok.
Into the sidelines, Davai with the operator
Ya
straight
gua bilang, Cok, ini kok dipus begini mulu, Cok. Ngeblank pala otaknya botak-botak ya.
Dibilang gope main ini aja Dragon Tiger 2 kali jadi 1,5.
Oh, enggak.
Juta malah.
Citau Jeng. Jogemo, lu tuh aneh banget, Cok. Lu jago banget sumpah Jogemo.
For the map.
Kasih tahu anak-anak ajaib. Vamos Ron, cheer, relax, dapat ini. Kasih tahu ceknya isi shotgun sampai bapaknya ngeluh.
Forsaken was in his camp watching all of this happen. How have those bullets gone through that wall to kill you?
Iya anjing parah tadi
And then all of the aggression, proactivity coming out from Flash. That's Flash the ball. And it's dropped Paper X down into a short
Dibilang kagak aman duitnya bego.
What a chance. Out of the fingers of Paper X. Could have been their map.
Kagak aman bro ya, overtime Cok. Pasti anjing.
Coba lu pasang overtime 200 juta next.
Still the turret in their face. What are they waiting for? They hear the trailblazer.
Ayo.
Mounds. Doesn't have to push this one back, but still holding his paranoia.
Dapai mati.
Harusnya gua lebih gede dong anjing.
What are they hunting for?
Ya, lu mainnya di website.
Kasih tahu, cabut dulu. Nice. Si botak mati, botak 3 jauh Gemo. Tapi ada Bosio tukang AWP dongo nih. Si jago.
AWP anjing. Nggak kecek anjing.
Tapi winnable ini bro.
Big player advantage.
Anya bro. Anya yang jaga orang kalau
initiative that's going to be in this round. It's never taken away from them. You don't have your jet player.
Botak jangan dipek.
They have lockdown seekers to work with.
Jangan.
Dengar itu Cok, sampai ke Jepang.
Trying to make this one feel like an A hit. Breaking through the door.
Banget.
Bisa.
Buat P-nya clear.
Too much house pushed up behind. Only the Seekers though, they have pulled players all the way into spawn. I mean, Paper X have just collected there. Like the round's just begun, man. 30 seconds remaining, and it's the double back.
No time sih Cok, jadi nih. Tahan.
Udah pada rotate semua juga. Winnable.
Lockdown. It has to be used to clear this one forwards.
Gak ngaruh. Kasih tahu. Biarin Forsaken yang mengapi senjata. Kasih tahu.
Apa yang mau dikasih tahu, bro? Itu Viper masih hidup. Nice.
Tapi gue PDOT kan, gue dari PDOT gue Prx.
Ya udah, apa 3 aja, 3. Rete 3 aja. Ayo Rete 3 ya, oke.
Apaan sih, tolol lu ngomong apa dah?
Lu menang lu dapat ke 20.
Ya, tolol pada ngomongnya sekarang anjing kan.
Everybody across the team in round 24, round 23, sorry. And then immaculate calling from Boostio. That is mastermind. He has, in every sense of the word, finessed them there. The Hive Mind was able to take down the Mastermind just for Paper X to get into this match. But that was a beautiful round from EG to be able to get them into overtime. Pushing and pulling. And the 7-5 half ended up getting recovered.
Kalau Japra kan Dota kan tiba-tiba kalah. Kalau ini ada seru-seru ya, Cok.
Dia tiba-tiba ngamuk ngentot. Oh, pas enggak kan lagi main Palo tuh. Pas dia buka gamenya lagi sekarang udah 2-25 ngentot. Oh, tolol lah katanya ngentot. Mah bikin duit gue hilang langsung main roulette diam-diam. Sekitar setengah aja langsung.
Now Boostio's hard anchoring A with all of his killjoy utility here. I don't think he did this once.
His eyes on the traces. Bit of counter spam maybe in order, but no kills to be found, no damage either. The nanoswarm's already been cleared. It's the bait and switch, and they wait out the util. Here's a Sancho brain. What is that? Can always count.
Let's go, James! Goblok OT ko pwede apa Prx?
In the blink of an eye.
Jauh game mau ketemu.
Movement so clean, Jordan is denied. There's the plan.
Dia bilang jauh game nih jago betul, Cok, sumpah. Mati. Nice. Ayo, percaya sama gue menang. Langsung 2-0 nih. Langsung 2-0 udah. Di push ini pasti kaget ini. Gemeter bijinya.
You can feel it, they are fired up for this.
Can't believe the movement here. I mean,
what an entry. Yo, what? I mean, it's 2 improbable entries, one after another. Just to break Paper X in.
Yeah, and no one's ready for it. No one can trade it.
Vamos!
Fade out on Nanoswarm. Trailblazer leads the charge. Right back into it. Paper X now again.
Menang OT menang ini.
Their Sky player has bought an op in
ya mampus udah nggak pede sniper deh.
Definitely certified Paper X moment here.
Jersey itu cuy nyebelin banget kameranya.
Up and away here. Tom gonna break away from the action. Here's a mosh pit. Wingman round to the side. That's a snake bite. Let them try and push back this aggression. This time everything is contained.
This time they're ready for it. The incredible Paper X trap ends up biting them instead.
Chill.
Mindfree pushing through the smoke though. Risks have to be taken.
Udah nggak ada 4 second, udah nggak ada chat ya, goblok. Udah nggak ada 4 second dong, kayak Gailos nggak termasuk.
I really want to go in here though. See the diligence, just using that util against the box there. The close corners in case somebody was hiding.
Skin dong.
The positioning of Mindfree roughly. He gave it away with the paranoia about 5 seconds ago.
30 seconds to be here into the connector. Jing, he hasn't been dealt with. Still has a nade and a satchel. Jing,
kasih tau Jing. Chill, relax. Ada bom, Jing. Ya, nggak apa-apa. Chill, relax. Kasih tahu, dapat re. Mainfree, dapetin. Nice. Pampes nanti kak, no time. Kasih Mainfree ke main sendiri.
Ya belum.
Kasih tau. Nice. Hilang 500.000. Hilang 500.000 hilang. Let's go. Dah kata OT-nya pede gue 2-0.
Udah hilang 500.000. Hilang gope.
Goblok.
Hilang gope, bro. Ong langsung keluar Discord,
Emang iya.
anak orang. Iya, dia langsung keluar Discord udah. Aduh anjing 500.000 gua hilang, coy.
Itu kalau jalan balik ke samping-sampingan gimana ya?
Ya cuek kan.
Jadinya sih sakit banget ngentot.
Kagak, 2 orang kagak jagain situ, cok.
To be able to carry the momentum of this series into
Ngapain beli OP malah nggak kepake, kontol tolol banget.
This was a ludicrous map. I don't exactly know how PaperX were able to hold on towards the end because it looked like EG had figured something out. But those final 2 rounds, excellent.
Punch in the face and see how they can stand up to it. The deeper this series goes, the more interesting it really gets as well. Map pull depth is going to be tested in the lower ranked final. Best of 5.
Emang sama Perek bukan nama PG.
Map PG.
Gua Perek menang lagi.
Jatuhnya pas dari nge-pick aja tadi.
Apa lu suruh bikin game kontol. Mapnya EG menang Perek kan. Lah, lu lihat aja yang kemarin bego. Di map ini kemarin Perek dibantai bego, menang 4-0 langsung dibalikin 13-4.
Nih mapnya nih.
Ini kan map select mapnya dia bego.
Nih, split ya. Split ini kesukaan mereka juga bego sebenarnya. Split kesukaan PaperX juga ini. Ini jadi sama-sama imbang nih. Maksud gua sama-sama suka. Nape pikan Perek udah, cok. Saya ini kalau dia menang ini easy win nih. Ada
3-1.
Belum tentu cowok yang kemarin lu bilang map di
iya yang per kan iya kebantai soalnya lawannya siapa cok
yang lawan energi
itu taruh berapa guys?
PX
cepet doang
ya lu taruh skornya berapa? 3-2
tapi PX split nih attack dulu nih enak nih sama-sama attack dulu nih
120 berapa? 330 lah. Kemarin gua kan menang 230, gua WD 230 gua pakai ngebet di 31.
Woi, gantian mas screen mas siapa woi? Musuh gua.
Jangan gua internet gua udah akhir bulan, cok, nge-lag anjing.
Gue juga kali ya kayak gitu ya.
FUP pindah lah, ada FUP gitu cok, IndiHome. Lu IndiHome nggak?
Bukan. Kita kabel udah dulu.
Matiin aja. Keren ya, ganteng ya si triplet nih.
Iya anjing. Tapi panas cok. Mahal juga anjing, berapa 10 juta kalau nggak salah.
7.
Itu yang kecil pi.
Gua harus matiin air cok. Matiin PC deh, air gua udah habis banget di rumah. Second dulu.
Udah nal si Jerop.
Lagi guys, nanti lagi.